live from Filmcan Studios.
Its origin, alien. Location, Antarctica. Age, unknown. Intent, survival. Destination, man. John Carpenter's The Thing, the ultimate in alien terror. Rated R. Starts Friday at a theater near you. Check newspapers for local listings.
Hello everyone, welcome to Filmcan Productions.
Yes, sir. We're doing a special October Halloween horror marathon.
That's right, and our first film we chose to review is The Thing.
The Thing by John Carpenter, not the bullshit Thing in 2011. And not the original The Thing.
Thing from Space, I think?
I think it was also called The Thing. I'm not sure. I could be
No,
wrong.
it's The Thing from Space.
Oh, okay.
Something like that, yeah.
Leave it to David to correct me on that.
No, I looked it up. And this is actually, we're trying something new. This is our actual first video. So if anybody's been listening to us, I'm David.
I'm Narciso.
And I'm Javier.
And now you can put the ugly mugs to the voices if you happen to listen to our podcast.
That's right. So I guess let's start with, actually let's start with, why did we choose The Thing? Why did we choose that?
Well, I think I chose The Thing because it's something that ever since we started the podcasting, for whatever reason, it's one of the ones I always wanted to review right off the bat. And they kind of stayed in the back burner. So what better time now than October for Halloween to kickstart the Halloween
and
review-a-thon.
Exactly. And we wanted to do something a little different and do, I mean, of course, The Thing is not super obscure, but we don't want to do the usual and do Friday 13th and Child's Play
exactly.
and Halloween. I mean, they're
the most popular ones.
great movies. I mean, some are better than others. They're fun movies, but we're trying to do just other movies, more obscure movies, you know?
Yeah. I'm not saying that The Thing is that obscure or cult, but it isn't as huge or widely thought of as Halloween must-watch movies.
It's not the first one you think of, correct?
Right.
And actually, you mentioned it I think it kind of is a cult film because I looked into it, and that film cost $15 million and it only made 13. So it wasn't a huge success.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's one. Yeah, you're right about the cult thing because I think it's one of those where it gradually. Well, I guess anything John Carpenter, everything has always been his whole career. I think has been more based on cult following than theatrical money making machine.
I guess you could say Halloween is his biggest movie.
Yeah,
and that was because it was so cheap. And it made so much comparatively, I think.
Right. And just like, say, Escape from New York or whatever. I mean, I don't know what the exact profit in theatrical release was, but I know it's one of those movies that, you know, it got a huge cult following as time went on. So much so that they actually did a shitty sequel with Escape from LA many, many years later. So,
and Javi, for some of us, either you are aware of it or didn't really remember it or haven't really seen it.
It's just one of those movies that if you were young enough to actually go to a video store, not just Netflix, you saw the box, which is right here in the corner.
Awesome poster.
You'd see the poster like everywhere, whatever, but it's probably not one of those movies you actually sat down to watch. You know, I mean, this movie did come out in 1982, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people remember walking by it or seeing it somewhere, whatever, in a store or a video store, but not actually like sitting down to watch it, and which goes out to like saying why we want to like pick movies like that too, because of course when we say Child's Play, I mean everyone has an opinion on Child's Play, but no one has an opinion on movies like The Thing, so why not?
Okay, and also we just finished screening it right now. You told me you weren't sure if you've seen it, and if you have, it's been a long time, and pieces.
Very long time.
It's been a very long time for me.
It's such a stepping stone in special effects, physical special effects. So realistic, so creepy. Even till now, we saw it in Blu-ray, HD, and a big TV, and it is fucking awesome. I mean, till now, you just sit there and it's just so creepy, and there's nothing that you watch and not one scene that you're like, God, that looks really, really bad. It looks real and terrifying throughout the entire movie. So you, as a person who probably either never saw the whole thing through or just saw the whole thing for the first time, and you being a bit younger than we are, and how did you just take this whole gore fest that you just sat through?
It was actually impressive. I was just telling them, I mean, you'll see it too if you ever seen the video of us watching it, is that most directors or most films, when they go into the horror thing, whatever, they do a lot of shots, flexing their CGI muscle because they don't want to go into the whole gore thing, or it's cheaper to make. Where in this one, I mean, we saw we saw some scenes where you could tell as much of it is puppeteering or something fake as far as the fake blood goes. But the fact that it's shot so well, edited so well, that you just let into the scene. So when you actually see like the money shot of someone dying and eaten, I mean, all of us were. I mean, you think about 30-year-old grown men just sitting there like, oh, holy crap! Like we just saw that, whatever. That's
Yeah, it looks good though. It works.
It works. To this day, like now that we're seeing it again, it's almost one of those things where like the movie worked.
And that's a reaction that we don't get that much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Things are either heavily CG where you kind of like, ooh, that looked kind of bad, or it's shaky cam and fast cuts, you don't see it.
Yes,
it's watered down PG-13ish.
Yeah,
it's very rare now for you to go ooh for something. And now TV shows, more or less, TV shows now make you go ooh.
And something that we were talking about a lot throughout the movie is that there's no real soundtrack. I mean, you have a lot of, every once in a while, you'll get a bassy guitar chord, boom, 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 that comes in and out.
Dum, dum.
For the most part, the movie's all silent, and it's all
Dum, dum.
dialogue and sound effects. It's almost very Tarantino-esque in a way. I mean, it's like a handful of people stuck in the middle of nowhere, and it's a lot of dialogue. And when the creature and the mutation effects and all that start happening, I think what also sells it is just the silence and the sound effects. You could hear like the bone crunching and the manipulate, and it just, your mind kind of just fills in the blanks, even if they cut away and you hear it off camera, and it gives it a whole other level of like creep value that it's, there's movies nowadays, they just don't know how to do that. They don't leave the audience imagination to fill in the gaps. They have to they have to like oversaturate you with visuals and show you the whole money shot, and it's like that takes away from it. If they just hold back a little bit and let your mind kind of fill in the blanks, it makes the scene that much more memorable and the movie that more like realistic, I think, to the viewer.
And you know what? Since you're speaking about music, I remember only one instance where they do this, and now horror movies do it all the time, where they cheapen the scare with just music and sound effects, like the jump scares.
Yeah, jump scares. Yeah,
they'll have that they'll raise the music and then nothing happens. It was like one scene, I think, when the Quaker Oatmeal guy showed up. That was the only time they did that, where the music scared you.
And
they only do it in this movie.
They only did it once too, because you weren't expecting it too, because it was silent the whole time.
And then
finally
when you start thinking, okay, I think they're gonna do it, then they do it.
And they do it because at that point of the movie, he's the only guy that obviously is going to be the alien. So instead of them trying to bullshit you and he might not be. Oh no, yeah, he is. We're gonna show you that he is, and that's gonna be kind of like the turning point of the movie, because they have nothing to hold back anymore. It was like the final reveal. Yeah, he's the final alien that's left, and he's just straight up killing the guy, like that scene that you say. The music just kind of just jumps in and he shoves his fingers to the guy's cheeks.
Oh, that part was awesome.
Yes.
Well, I guess since we're talking, I guess right now let's get to really quick. I guess Javi, if you want to set up like just a basic like the plot of the movie.
Was pretty much I guess they're in the Antarctic. There's a research team in the Antarctic right now. They're isolated, whatever, and then come across some explorers, some hunters, whatever, from another base that was nearby, and they realized that there was ransacked by some evil being that somehow infiltrated their station. And what makes this movie work is that it's an alien being that's obviously, you know, infiltrated their area, except once they infiltrate, I guess what it does that, you know, it will get into a being, like either human or animal, and it'll imitate that being, and sure enough, it'll go ahead and start killing each person in there. So that the most of the movie is spent around, okay, who's the alien, who's it imitating, how is it imitating it, whatever. So it's pretty much who's who, like, okay, who's gonna be the alien at this point.
Yeah, it becomes literally a game of Clue.
Yeah.
You don't know who the alien is, and it's like a chameleon. It can mimic anything that's living. It can be a dog, it can be a person, it can be whatever is around it. They even explain it towards the end that, you know, as long as the symbiotic creature or whatever is near the maybe that's one over there. I don't know.
The thing.
Taking over my dog over there.
The thing.
Yeah, Capone's gonna eat us now.
As long as it's near something living, it can mimic it. It'll take over, it'll kill it, and mimic it. So
It'll mimic it, yeah. But it doesn't mimic it in a T-1000 sense, you know, like not a morphing. It's almost like it's
restructures its.
Yeah, it's almost like
it possesses the big
that robot from The Last Starfighter, where it's like it's slowly turning into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And once it's threatened, it rips out of the body and turns into something else.
It's funny that you mentioned the T-1000 because, like, you know, towards the end of Terminator 2, when the T-1000 is kind of like
upside down.
When he's dying in the lava, it sort of goes through all the mimics it did throughout the movie in desperation. He's turning into everything it ever turned. In this movie, it was very similar. Like, whenever it's somebody and they know it's the alien and they're killing it or whatever, it just kind of opens, like, towards the end. It starts turning into the dogs from the very beginning of the movie. And it has like 3 different faces. It just tries to mimic whatever.
It just rips apart and turns into something else.
It's like it goes crazy, yeah.
And also, throughout the film, we couldn't help but realize how similar, I guess, the movie was to Alien.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know it's a remake of an old movie, and I'm pretty sure I'm not familiar with the original. Anybody here familiar with the first one?
Alien?
No, the thing, the original.
Oh,
thing.
no, brother.
So I don't know how much they really changed from the original.
Well, I know that in the original, it was a more like
B movies, 50s, right?
Not only that, it was, from what I recall, maybe seeing some stuff. It was more like a regular alien.
Yeah, and I
think
think
they defrost, and I don't know. I could be wrong.
I think it still imitated humans. That's what's called the thing. I remember James, the Nintendo nerd.
Yes.
He did a video on that, and he showed a clip from it. And I think there's an homage to that in this one, when he sets the guy on fire and he just walks off and just drops down. Yeah. And that's how they originally killed the thing in the original one. They just burn him.
They just burn him alive.
And in this movie, okay, first of all, now let's talk about little details. Okay. First of all, the movie screams total 80s. You got the hero drinking whiskey from the first shot to practically the last shot. In fact, they kill the alien because of all the whiskey, and they blow him up.
Well, I think the whole movie was brought to you by Jim Beam.
Jim Beam, yes. Yeah. Jim Beam, and you caught a milk dud, right? Milk duds in there.
There was a scene in the supply room, whatever, and then all of a sudden I just noticed there was a huge boxes on the shelf that said milk duds on it. I'm like, how the hell you survive in the Antarctic with just boxes of milk duds?
You know how hard the caramel gets? Oh my lord!
Man, those guys in the Antarctic though, they were stocked up.
They were set. They had a VCR.
They had an arcade of pinball machines and arcades. They had
bags of weed.
Weed everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Weed up the ass, liquor up the ass.
Well, I guess if you're stuck up in the ice, what else do you need? You have to have weed. You have to have.
It's almost as if Kurt Russell's character, like every 15 minutes, had a new bottle of like whiskey to drink off of.
Yeah,
bizarre.
Yeah.
He even says at one point when all this shit's in the fan, listen, I just want to go back to my room and get fucking drunk.
He says it. He's like, I'm tired of this. This is after people have died.
Yeah.
I have to talk to you.
I'm tired of talking, Fix. I just want to get up to my shack and get drunk.
Mac, it's important.
And it does have a feel of Alien. Kind of structured like Alien. It starts slow, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
You set up the characters. You set up the mystery of what was going on with those people trying to kill the dog, and then boom, 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 boom. But I think what makes it different from Alien is the fact that the alien is always one of them. In Alien, you could see it and see what it is, and it was stalking them.
Yes.
This movie, it's
You
kind of
always, you always have the question.
invasion of
who's
the
who?
body snatcher-ish, where
Yes.
it could be anybody, and it's almost like they don't even know themselves. Well, I think maybe Wolf and
It's
Brimley
not that they don't
kind
know
of
that
tricking them.
they start questioning
Yeah.
themselves.
The thing Wolf of Brimley, I don't recall at what point did he really become. You think when they put him in there, he was already infected?
I don't know. That's a
You know, you
question
got to
I
watch
don't
it
know.
again to see, because they kind of trick you with their faces, and they start everyone starts looking like shit. Even one part with Kurt Russell, you almost think that he's the one.
Yeah,
The
but
part-
you know that he's
well,
not,
yeah, I
he's
know,
the
but I'm
main
sure
guy.
when you first saw it, you're thinking, oh, are they gonna do like Alien, where they're gonna kill off the main character? Because remember in Alien, you think that Tom Skerritt is the main
He's
guy,
the main dude, yes, exactly.
and they
Before
just
Ripley
kill him off halfway in the air vent.
takes over, yeah.
Yeah, she takes over, and it's a sausage fest though, all men.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
think probably the dogs were male too.
Yeah.
I mean, that dog, Academy Award winning dog right there, 1982.
One thing that you were bringing up was that it's kind of odd that there's a specific person credited for a score,
Yeah, that was strange.
yet there is really no score, and whatever little score there is, it sounds like John Carpenter did the score like he normally does, because it sounds just like typical John Carpenter. If you don't know, he usually does his own scores, like he plays the guitar or whatever. So, and it's all his movies kind of have the same, bassy
Yeah, the
guitar,
thumping bass
beating.
thing.
Yeah.
Almost like a little synth sound.
Yeah.
And in this movie, who gets
Giorgio Moroder.
Yeah. What's his name again?
Ennio Morricone.
Ennio Morricone.
Morricone.
Italian.
He's actually famous. He's a famous composer for composing all the famous spaghetti westerns, like the Sergio Leone ones with
Yeah,
Clint
Clint
Eastwood in them.
Eastwood.
right.
And he got hired for this film. But what was odd was because he has very, very like full orchestrated scores, and yet this one's simple synth, like very corny, Hamish
And it's like the
80.
same
Yeah.
beat repeated throughout the entire film.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, I will say about 50% of the movie goes by without any music.
Yeah, it's hardly a score.
And then it just comes in for like a few scenes whenever something needs it. The same little 4-chord beat, and that's it. And it's like doesn't sound like it sounds like there's something fishy went out there. Like maybe he did a score, maybe, and they didn't end up using it, but they ended up crediting him for
anyway.
it. I don't know. We have to
That's
look into that.
interesting.
But as a matter of fact, he is actually doing the score for Tarantino's new film.
Yeah, for Hateful Eight, he's doing that because he actually, again, it's funny how you mention that too, is because, like, when we actually saw his name on the credits, which is weird because hardly any movies now do credits now, so we were reading all through all the credits, and we were thinking, okay, it's gonna be a lot of music in there. One, like they said before, there was hardly any music. I think there was only one scene where they had strings going on. I think that was when they went to the Swedish base or the Norwegian base where they went to, whatever. They found all the dead bodies in the beginning of the movie. And then at the end of the movie, when they actually did a full score for the ending credits, it was all just synth. There was nothing close to orchestra at all.
Right.
It was just like someone went on the computer and just put a bunch of like bass guitars and like synth instruments together. Very, very odd.
Yeah, that there has to be something behind that. Maybe we'll look into that some other time.
Or maybe they
But,
paid him to put his name on the credits just for like that kind of like,
maybe they owed him a favor. I don't know.
I don't know, but he got paid for that, for almost doing nothing.
And I was thinking about John Carpenter. His movies. He's kind of labeled kind of like a B movie director.
Oh yeah, especially now.
Even though he's done some at the time big budget movies like Big Trouble in Little China, which is great.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen this in a long. Watching this now, I mean, I see John Carpenter there, but it was almost like a different type of John Carpenter. Like this movie it wasn't cheesy. I mean, it's dated. There's dated material, but it didn't.
No, this movie's not cheesy
It was
whatsoever.
It was more Halloween John Carpenter than, let's say, Escape from L.A. John Carpenter or They Live. They Live is very tongue in cheek,
Yes.
almost borderline comedy, dark comedy.
Yeah, well, then again, I think this is maybe like a passion project for him
Maybe.
because
Mhm.
it is a remake of a classic that
Which
he probably
probably
loved.
Yeah.
And he probably wanted to, do a more serious take on it. And I'm glad he did because it fit perfectly. I think this movie, I don't think you could do it any better than what he did.
Mhm.
It was serious. It was creepy as hell from beginning to end. Well acted. And I think it fits his style perfectly. Like, thing about John Carpenter is that he's a beloved horror director, and he does obviously he's done the Halloweens, and everybody knows him for Escape from New York and all that shit. And he is kind of like a dinosaur in the Hollywood system, and they kind of sort of turned their back on him and his style after a while. What was his last movie? That Vampire Planet movie? What the hell was?
Ghost of Mars?
Wasn't that his last
No,
movie?
he's done other movies after that.
What has he done?
We can look it up really quick. We'll look it up, but you know a John Carpenter movie that's
Theatrically, I'm talking about.
John Carpenter movie that's I think underrated is Vampires.
I like
with
vampires.
James Woods. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I
John
like
Carpenter's
vampires.
They're vampire hunters. This is post, romantic style vampires. It was still scary zombie like vampires, and James Woods and his team.
Well, James Woods is like a
They're
priest.
vampire hunters contracted by the Vatican to kill vampires
Yes,
secretly.
that's what it is.
Because the Vatican is hiding
Yes.
the fact that there's vampires. So I mean that's another story, but that could be one of the Halloween movies we watched. That movie's great. But look, I mean IMDb.
I'm on it
John
now.
Carpenter. Okay, perfect. But okay, let's talk about Kurt Russell.
Okay.
For anybody that's, I guess,
Not familiar with who he
20
is.
and under, might not realize that Kurt Russell was awesome.
Kurt Russell's always awesome. Actually, I haven't seen the last Fast and the Furious. I know he's in it.
Yeah, he's in
But I
it.
bet you he's fucking awesome in it.
Yeah, he's great. He's great in it. He never got to the status of, let's say, Stallone and Schwarzenegger, but he was like he was almost like the Bruce, like the everyday white collar American guy in almost all his movies.
Oh yeah,
Terminal China, he's just like the average Joe drinking beer and
yes.
wrong place, wrong time.
That sounds like Bruce Willis.
It was
like,
almost like a Bruce Willis thing.
He actually, I don't know if he was ever like an ideal, because obviously he was somewhat of a muse for John Carpenter. He was in Big Trouble in Little China. He's been in various of his films, all the Escape movies. I feel like he was a guy that was meant to be in They Live instead of Roddy Piper.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Because I feel like Roddy Piper, it was such an odd character, which obviously I love Roddy Piper in that movie, and he just passed away and all, and that actually made me really sad.
Yeah.
But sometimes things are meant to be because he was. I can't visualize anybody else in it, but that seems to me like it was a role made for him to do.
I think at that point, Caruso, that was his peak. Because I think They Live came out in 87, 88, and by that point he was making big movies. Remember, he was making movies with like Mel Gibson, Tequila Sunrise, and Tango and Cash.
Yeah.
I think he couldn't afford him at that point. I really do. Because David Keith is in it, a couple other people. I really do. I think so. I think that's when Caruso hit his stratosphere, I think.
Yeah.
It probably was a contractual thing. I'm sure he would have done it.
Could be.
Maybe he was too busy making a movie. I'm sure we can find that out, but it does definitely feel like it should have been Kurt Russell in it.
Yeah, and I mean, like what you were originally saying was that it doesn't feel like a John Carpenter quote unquote film. But if you think about it, John Carpenter's movies can be either very silly-ish
It's
or
early Carpenter.
I mean, hey, The Fog.
Yeah.
I will throw in there like this is very serious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super creepy. I actually saw it not that long ago, and it still holds up with the Ghost Pirates and shit.
Not,
I mean,
not the remake. They're remaking John Carpenter up the ass. The
Of
Thing has
course
been
they are.
remade.
Oh, yeah.
Halloween has been remade. Halloween sequel's been remade. The Fog, they remade The Fog,
Yes.
which was crap. There's been there's gotta be another John Carpenter.
as a matter of fact, I wouldn't doubt if they're gonna remake. Actually, they're gonna remake
Big-
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes,
I heard
with The Rock.
with
Sorry, Dwayne Johnson.
Ugh.
And then there's the obscure ones like In the Mouth of
mean,
Madness. Ones that
yeah.
you forget. John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. And I
Yes.
think he did. Didn't he do a Village of the Damned?
Village of the Damned. Yes, he
Yeah.
did. Yeah, it was on 1995 or something like that.
Yeah, with wasn't that the one with Christopher
Christopher
Reeve?
Reeve.
That's right.
Yep.
John Carpenter, Vampires. Did you find out his last movie?
I'm trying to see what the hell is that. I know he did that Precinct 13 one also.
The original. That's another one that was remade. That was remade with Ethan Hawke.
He did Christine, which is classic.
Going back to the acting thing too, I
Yeah.
think that was effective about this movie, about it being scary, was the fact that, I mean, aside from the fact that they had clever editing in there, was that they
Actually,
actually most of the time they shot with the actors' faces, kind of like acting, looking gruesome. They're like saying like, oh shit, like, it's so disgusting kind of thing. I think that made it work too, because you didn't necessarily had to see what was grossing them out. You just had to see them grossed out.
Yeah.
Remember that first body that they found? They spent maybe 5 minutes seeing them grossed
Yeah.
out first before you actually saw the actual body. So what was his last movie?
I'm still yet to find out what the last.
Yeah,
one
actually,
was.
you're right. Well, his last big movie was Ghosts of Mars, 2001. But he did something called The Ward in 2010. Probably straight to video movie, The Ward. Look.
The part I gave.
I mean, regardless, it's just it's been losing. He's been losing steam. He's kind of
Yeah.
like
George Romero.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like he'll do a masterpiece and then he'll do something. You're like, okay.
But if you ever see interviews or whatever with him, he's awesome. He's the type of guy that he's anti-Hollywood, anti-studio. He doesn't give a shit, and that's why you don't see him doing more big projects than he does, because he gives them all the big finger. He doesn't give a fuck. He does his own project. He walks his walk. He doesn't play the game like they want him to play the game. So he does his own thing, and he doesn't mind it. And to me, that he's in that realm of Tarantino and Rodriguez guys who they just like do their own shit. They don't care that they're not doing the biggest Hollywood movies.
Yeah. They're not. Their taste is not for everybody.
As long as they get to do what they want to do and their vision comes across the way they want to do it, that's all they give a shit about. They don't care about doing 1,000 studio movies a year and just getting a big paycheck. So I mean, that's why he's so cool, man. I mean, John Carpenter movie they stand the test of time, I think, and they all have the same type of feel to them. Like you can see them and you can hear them and you know that's a John Carpenter film, and that's to me the mark of a good director. So
I thought of something, like a question that we could answer each person. What would be a dream John Carpenter project? Not an original project. Okay, everyone's remaking John Carpenter, but let's say John Carpenter could remake something now.
okay.
What would be a good movie that John Carpenter make? It's on the spot, of course. We didn't plan this, but I'm thinking, what would be a good movie for John Carpenter to make?
That's
now?
a tough one. That's one that you're gonna have to really think about, because
It would have to be an older film, like kind of like what The Thing was, like a classic. Like honestly, you know what? I just thought right now, The Blob.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that'd be
they
a good
did
one.
make a remake of that in the 80s.
Yeah.
with,
Yeah, but he wasn't part of it.
No,
I
no,
think
no,
pretty
no.
sure
But
he
it was
would've
that,
made
that
it
era.
awesome,
But The
yeah.
Blob now, I think, would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it would have to, it would be still would be CG. The
But he
Blob
would keep
be,
it to the minimum, so I'm pretty sure there's like some shots where he would like compromise whatever.
Yeah.
But most of else is like he can work around that too, because he's that kind of director. He doesn't need anything flashy. He has to like create good shots, edit it well, and I think that's all he needs.
something like that. Yeah, he needs something B-movie. That's a good question.
That's a fun one. Though. Maybe that's something we
Blob
can
would
we
be
can
fun.
ask.
Think of questions for next time.
Well, we can ask our audience if we have any audience out there. If anybody out there wants to pitch in their 2 cents of what would be a good John Carpenter project, if he were to be taking script ideas or a remake or something, what do you guys think John Carpenter would like to actually sink his teeth
Yeah, what would
into
you like?
nowadays?
Do you think another Snake movie would work now?
You know what? I would fucking love it, but I don't
'Cause
know.
the sequels didn't really do well.
All the kids now won't know what the hell
No,
that
of course.
is.
But it's but all the kids now had no idea what Mad Max was. It's possible.
Yeah,
If you do it right, it's
he's such a
possible.
cool looking guy and such a cool idea that how could people not want to go see it? Like, especially a kid, you see a badass with an eye patch and long hair. He's like,
In fact, The Thing, it looks like he just stepped out of. They just finished making. I think Escape from New York was the year before, 81, 80 or
could be,
81.
yeah.
So it looked like he just took off the eye patch and said, "Okay, here we go. We're gonna shoot The Thing." He had the same hair.
Yeah,
He has the beard too,
beard,
right? Or he
yeah.
has a goatee. He has a beard.
No,
right?
he doesn't have any facial hair.
Yeah. He doesn't. He has stubble.
He has stubble, long hair, and an eye
So
patch.
they
I'm sure
waited-
he just let himself a month to
They
grow
waited
out
a few.
that
They
shit.
waited.
Yeah.
That was
they
1
waited
week
6
for him.
months. They waited.
Exactly.
That was 1 week for Kurt Russell.
Yeah. In fact, I heard anecdotes. All those scenes of Kurt Russell drinking JB were all like home video footage that he found of
That
Kurt
was-
Russell.
that
I
was
see when he was
him.
talking on the tape.
Yeah.
That's him proposing to Goldie Hawn, actually.
Oh,
But
God.
he's okay. Another thing, great aside from Kurt Russell, great character actors. Nobody really famous in the movie, but
Keith David.
people like that grew up in
People
the
that
80s.
you recognize from a
You're
bunch
like,
of shit.
You
yeah.
you got the Quaker Oats meal guy, Wilford Brimley, minus the mustache.
He looks so bizarre
In
without
fact,
the
I think
mustache.
there's
Almost
a
unrecognizable.
deleted scene that they know he's an alien because his mustache wiggles away.
It's weird.
This movie was ahead of its time. It had 2 black people in it,
And only
Right.
one of them died.
Yeah,
One of-
the famous David
One
Keith,
guy.
which is in everything from
Oh, I love
Something
David
About
Keith.
Mary
He's
to
so
Armageddon to They Live.
They live.
You have
Yeah.
the other guy. I think is T.K. Carter. I looked him up. He's the teacher from Punky Brewster. That's how I know him.
And it's funny you bring up aliens because he's in Spaceballs mimicking aliens in that end scene where the
does look like
guy's
him,
thing
yeah.
burst out. What was the famous line that he said?
He's like, water my ass. Get this guy some Pepto Bismol.
Bring some water! Water my ass! Bring this guy some Pepto-Bismol!
I'm not sure if it's him, but it might be.
It's gotta be
We gotta
him.
look it up. If it's true, we'll put it somewhere here in the corner.
What did you say his name was?
T.K. Carter.
TK Carter. I'll tell you right now. You keep talking.
He. Let me see who else was
There
in
he
it.
is. TK Carter. There he is. The Thing.
Oh shit, he was in Domino.
Please tell me.
They put his most popular stuff there. If you go to all filmography, that's where you do it. Okay, the older Hitler-looking guy.
God, he was in Gem.
He's probably one of the voices. Yeah,
obviously. No, he was Gem.
he was Jem.
Yeah, he was.
He was Jem in Whiteface. I don't know their names. The older. He was toward the end. The mean-looking Hitler guy, the Christoph Waltz-looking guy.
Oh yeah.
I've seen him before. He was a president in Clear Person Danger. I'm a freak when it comes to these things. The guy with the beard that got shot in the head, point blank.
Oh yes.
Richard Mouser, if you look him up, he's been in a lot of stuff. You see him, you're like, oh, I know that guy. He's in a bunch of 80s movies. Look him up, Richard Mouser. He was the guy in My Girl that everyone was laughing about. He's a father in License to Kill.
He kind of also looks like.
Well, he's got...
He looks like
Everyone
the
has
old
a
man.
beard in that movie.
He also reminds me of the old man of Police Academy. Like you said, Punky Brewster. Oh, Pumpkin.
The guy got shot in the head?
Yeah.
He kind of looked like the brawny man.
No. The old man. That the only old guy.
Yeah,
At the end.
the guy from Police Academy.
Is it him?
Who?
It's not him.
When they got tied up, is like.
What are we talking about?
The old guy at the end who's tied up, the last one to be tied up in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
That they test his bullet and he's like, get me out of this.
Yeah, the one that looks like Hitler, right? The Christoph Waltz guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He kind of reminds me of the
Lieutenant
guy from.
Assassin.
Yeah, kind of.
And then
Oh, Pumpkin. Highly recommend the shit out of this fucking movie. It's been one of my all-time favorites for years and years. This is encompassing everything good about 80s horror, like actual physical special effects, no CGI, blood, gore,
yeah, good atmosphere,
all
good
the good shit,
characters.
good acting, good directing, dark atmosphere, isolated atmosphere. I think that's what a lot of movies nowadays don't know how to do correctly. It's just like a handful of people in the middle of nowhere, and you feel that way. You feel claustrophobic.
I think there's just so much about 80s movies, especially the horror ones, that I think they can still get a lot of flack for being cult or whatever. Is because a lot of them relied all their scare tactics were relying on good actors, good shots, good mood, lighting, editing kind of thing. Where like some of the stuff you see now is relied on gore, like CGI, or like just over the top everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like anybody, if you were to watch one now, it would be less scary. But if you watch some of the old stuff now, like The Thing, you see that okay, now it looks scary because of some of the tactics they've used. It's a lot to appreciate.
So for you, someone who just saw it pretty much in its entirety for the first time, you highly recommend it?
Without a doubt.
Awesome. David?
Me too. I mean, I've seen it before, but it's been a long time. I think completely. It's been probably since I was a kid. And to think about it, I don't even know if I ever saw it completely. This is like one of those movies that I would catch like on 33 and 39.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
play
of course.
like all those horror movies. I don't even remember the last time I saw it completely. I'm aware of it, and I'm aware of all those scenes. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, if you watch the video of us watching it, it starts off us talking shit, and then about
Everybody
20
gets
minutes
quiet.
in, we got quiet.
Yeah.
And good. And I recommend you eat
Before.
either before or after. It's pretty gruesome.
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad.
And if you're eating anything like lasagna or anything,
No, yeah, no pastas
Look,
with
this the
tomato
dude.
sauces.
No.
that dude, you've seen him
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
That's him.
Yeah, I
That's
see
the
it.
guy.
Yeah,
That's the guy
exactly.
I was telling you about the micro
Yeah,
guy.
we got away with it too as far as like, the gruesome goes because you mentioned not to eat any pasta. We had chicken parm sandwiches.
That
We got away with it somehow.
Their sandwiches, by the way, Domino's Pizza. If you want to sponsor us, we love you. We'll
Yeah.
order you every
we were
time.
eating that. We watched the movie. We
But
enjoyed every second.
That
of it,
sandwich
so.
was like tasted like pizza.
What do you expect? You ordered a
the pizza
sandwich
bread.
or a pizza joint.
It's a pizza bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ate it, whatever, and it stayed down during the gruesome scene. So Thank you, Domino's, for that.
Well, obviously, I highly recommend it. It's one of my all-time favorites. This is gonna be the first of a handful of horror movie marathons that we're gonna try to do for October. So please, if there's any ideas or any movies you would like for us to review horror-wise for October, we would love to hear from you guys. We're listen to our podcast. Look for Filmcan Productions.
Filmcan Productions.
on
Check us out on
iTunes.
iTunes. Please rate us.
Yes, please
Comment
rate us.
and rate us.
We're whoring ourselves out here. We'll take any stars that we can take them.
Any constructive criticism would be welcome as well.
Sure, anytime.
That's right.
You can visit us at filmcanproductions.com.
That's
and
our official site. We also have a YouTube channel, which has pretty much more content on the YouTube channel.
yeah, we have film trailer mashups. We have all our old past video reviews. Everything's on
retro
there.
reviews. We got trailer mashups. We got like countdowns and highlights. And then that one is you can search for also Filmcan Productions. That's your best bet.
Yeah, if you go to filmcanproductions.com, it's pretty much the gateway to all the other media outlets. But please just follow us on Filmcan Productions on iTunes if you want to hear our podcast, or YouTube to see all our video content. You can also follow David on Twitter at what's your
David Filmcan.
and I'm at Filmcan Gang. Twitter. Do you have
Mm-hmm.
Twitter?
Twitter.
Don't have Twitter, but you can. I'm gonna go. I'll make sure I have something
Instagram.
ready for you guys.
We get it. You got Instagram, right?
Yeah. Hey.
You know, I do have a Twitter. Get me on Drunken Denim. That's DRUNKEN.
I think Drunken
DNM.
Denim is drunk right now.
Yeah, exactly. DN. I am Drunken Denim. Just catch me.
And yeah, we're on Instagram at Filmcamp Productions. But thank you for being with us for another podcast here.
Oh, really quick, we are planning to do a Halloween special. Like on Halloween Day, we're gonna do a Halloween.
Yes, the final hurrah of the Halloween specials is gonna actually be a video show.
Yeah, we're gonna do a Halloween special.
And we're gonna do it from a
Undisclosed,
coffee shop.
Yeah, location.
We're
yeah.
gonna do it at a coffee shop, undisclosed coffee
Yeah.
shop right now, but it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun.
So, check us out.
Yeah, we might have some guests and stuff, so it should be cool. So thanks again for being with
All right,
us.
till next time.
Till next time.
Salud.
Drink them if you got them.
I'm tired of talking figs. I just want to get up to my shack and get drunk.